Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Get a compilation of stuff we can say when we retire.
Yeah.
Kind of like your voice clips.
Well, we're actually
kind of like that.
we were kind of. Who was I talking to? You? It was maybe you. You're talking about how the Navy SEAL who killed Osama bin Laden,
Yeah.
and then he went and wrote a book afterwards. And he kind of like sold out all his buddies and whatever, like in a way that
American
like
Sniper.
he
American
shared.
Sniper.
Yeah,
Chris
he-
Kyle. Oh, Chris?
No, was it him? No. Anyway, yeah, this guy goes and kills Osama in this covert operation, and then he goes and shares
The
the
details.
details about it, right?
Yeah.
And makes a lot of money.
Makes millions.
I think people would read our book.
Oh yeah,
100%.
for sure. It makes
Like,
so much money.
You're 10 years in. I don't even have that much to contribute compared to you, but
This pod is very PG-13 compared to
PG.
what we can.
PG.
PG
Do you want
or
the story
PG?
now for the?
Yeah, I want to know the
Okay,
story.
that's good. I gotta tell you. It gets us warmed up anyway.
Okay.
So this kid is we're not putting this on. It was I couldn't tell you until way
That's
later because the
pretty
day was too crazy.
Yeah, you told me at the
So
end of the day.
later, I'm like, this is really
Yeah.
funny.
That was a
Day.
wild day yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
It was good.
All
You
the
and I were in
things.
Colombia while everyone else is
Yeah.
doing all the immunizations. That's like the worst.
That's a tough one.
like-
It's a tough one for the admin assistants too. Like you're fielding a lot of calls, and really, it's not up to the school. You know what's funny though too? At the end of that day yesterday, as wild that was, we were all like, "It's a pretty good day."
Yeah,
Right?
It was great.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, because all the kids were really funny when they were coming in the first time.
Yeah.
After the first evacuation, they're coming in the door, and I'm holding the door, like,
Yeah.
and they're like, every kid's like, "What happened? Hey, what happened? Hey, what happened?" I'm like, "I don't know yet." They're like, "How do you not know?" I'm like, "I can't tell you." but it's safe to enter. Obviously, you see the firefighter. It's safe to enter. Essentially, like, I don't know, 100 kids that passed me. Then 2 minutes later,
It goes out.
none
again.
of them again. Yeah.
So the first one was a real one, and the second one was you're trying to trip it, reset it, or
Yeah.
something like that, and it went off again.
Yeah. Well, even the first one, I think it was a malfunction, like a smoke detector, heat sensor, and it malfunctioned.
It's a working theory right
I
now.
think so.
Yeah, but it's okay. The second one was the kicker. It was fun. Kids responded so well. They were great.
They were great.
Yeah.
2,000
you kept
people
saying.
out of the building.
That's what you kept saying. I was like, this guy's smiling. He's like, it's a great day in the neighborhood. I'm like, no, it's not.
Well, 'cause
No, it's not.
He just had a week in Colombia, so he's
I know.
just like living the dream.
You got kicked in a high gear.
Oh,
Okay,
came back and got slapped.
I
in the
did have a
face,
question
right?
for you about that.
I got back and I was exhausted. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, man. Like I was.
Wasn't a good feeling.
exhausted.
I did have a curious question for you after
Yeah,
that.
what's up?
I wanted to know. Oh, Columbia got lots of questions, but I said, can you say a message over the PA?
Yeah.
About like the kids handled it, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Did you use Copilot?
No,
Come on.
it's ChatGPT.
Okay. 'Cause I was
Why?
like,
It was pretty good.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, hey, you need to make a message on the PA, like tell kids it was good, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. It's okay. So then 2 minutes later, he's on there, he's like,
You did a great job. It was pretty good.
It was good. I'm like,
No,
you didn't write that in 2 seconds. Good job.
I did
Good
want
use of AI.
I
Excellent use of
wanted
AI.
AI. The prompt I gave it was to
Calm down a school after a
no,
faulty
just like
evacuation.
like help. I'm going to make an announcement, like help debrief the evacuation, whatever. But I want it to be affirming and positive that we did the right thing, and I set all the right prompts in there to make sure that it was uplifting for our school community and acknowledge that people did a great job and prioritize safety, which they really did.
They did.
We should keep in mind it was at lunch, 2,000 people.
I was just going to
Twice.
comment. It was a great use of AI. Like,
Yeah, thanks.
We had a teacher just shared this article on AI.
Yeah.
And long story short, it talks about how you have kids that 80% of them are using AI regularly to submit their assignments and whatnot. One quote that really stood out to me was that not only are they using AI to generate these papers, but now the universities and the institutions are kind of being hypocritical where they're saying you can't use AI to create it, but they're using AI to grade it. So there's a lot that are using AI to kind of summarize and provide like a summary for the prompts,
Interesting.
etc. So really the author's summary was, and how they ended it was kind of doom and gloom. It's like we've gone to a place where we have AI giving feedback on AI, like AI written articles, and then you have AI that's providing feedback and grading it. So it's like AI is now,
I don't even know what to do with that.
that's crazy, right?
Hey, like,
messed up.
think about, okay, so what's the purpose of education then?
Mhm.
Right now, I think like our compass is a little bit off because the game has changed so quickly. And we got to get to a point like, as an example, my 9 and 10-year-old, they can use AI, no problem. And they do research on there, or they use it as a search engine, I should say, right? That's what it's defaulted to for them, where they're looking up information. where if you Google something, like you got to go then sort through a web page or whatever. And it's not like they're at the point where they can fact check it, but that's like become their default search. Fast forward 5 or 6 years, now they're in high school, and like, is that going to serve them when their acumen for AI is really gone to a level that might even be beyond where we are, right? You never know. And they're using it in different ways. And you're like, oof, what's next?
There's so much to that. There's the like morality piece too. At some point, just like with any science or technology, like you're infringing on like human rights and I guess intellectual property. But what is that even anymore? That's the blurred line.
Yeah.
Right. And then what is our purpose in that? What's our role in that?
What's our role?
Because when you're saying AI is marking AI, it's like, what are we doing?
What are we even doing?
What's
here?
the purpose?
What are we doing? I saw this one Instagram reel where it shows trade workers and they're celebrating and dancing because they're like, it's the one AI proof job. Because everything else in IT and banking and really the service type industries is where it's going to be slower for AI to kind of lay shingles on the roof or to have like plumbing and a house or whatever, right? So, and it's kind of like you really do hear a lot of guidance counselors, a lot of conversation now. Even parents are really pushing the trades because it's saying it's a pretty foolproof job and it's a skill to have, right? Where I see a lot of less and less value with universities and colleges, etc. And I think it's because of the value of, or people aren't seeing the value in education anymore because AI is doing things for us. They're thinking for us now. So
absolutely.
And that was the role of a university. Really, was to create there were think tanks. Like it was a thinking hub, and it's to graduate these thinkers and go out into the real world and do great things. Well, AI is really doing all the thinking for you now.
I guess I know what you're saying, but I would say that's the opposite. Like I would say the AI is doing everything but the thinking for you, because they're giving you some stuff, right? They're giving you the information or writing something for you. But like, I think it's up to, I guess, to answer my own question from a few minutes ago, it's up to us to develop like those transferable skills in students, but then teach them to be those critical thinkers where they analyze and push, challenge the AI to see, does that actually fit with what we know about the world? And I'm sure it's going to evolve to a place where even AI is a lot stronger than that, and it will be more reliable than what it is. And like, I feel like we have a big role in that in education.
Yeah. So our role is to teach kids how to use AI now and how to think critically with AI, which is not
with it. Yeah.
Which I would argue that it's happening in certain pockets.
Yeah. It's already
in high schools
and
in colleges, universities as well. And I can only speak from my own experience. I find that the prevailing sentiment out there is AI is bad. And let's go back to paper pencil.
We've seen some of that. Right?
Yeah. There's so many jobs out there that AI probably can't help you in the moment in some instances. So if you're like a police officer responding to a call, I mean, what are you gonna do? ChatGPT to help you solve that situation? You're not. So there's a certain level of training in industry that I think will be proof enough for a while, or enough proof that you like it's not a good idea, like for decency, or even delivering a message. Like for example, I asked you about did you use Copilot or another ChatGPT to create a message to share with staff? You still have to deliver it, and you did it in a way that you didn't do it like a robot. You do it like a human. Like you still have to. There's still needs some. Like that message was conveyed by you, even though you didn't necessarily generate the
and
whole
it
thing.
still needed to be edited to fit our community and the message I wanted to share.
That's right.
Right, but it helps.
It helped
with the idea generation more than anything.
And that's what it's helping in a lot of why it's so useful.
Yeah.
I don't think all educators feel the same way about it. Like some are vehemently against it, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think they'll get there. Just like everything else in education, like eventually they'll get there.
Well, I think the challenge is like students want to ask AI to do a task that AI can do. So they're thinking like, why am I doing this? AI can do this for me, which is valid. In a lot of cases,
we're always asking. We're doing it ourselves too. It's like, can I get AI to do this task for me? Because it's going to take more work than I want to put into it.
So that's valid.
If they can do it as good or better than me, then the question would be, why don't I ask it then?
Exactly.
I wish I could remember a quote I read and where it came from. And it was that AI is helping us to become more human, which means that the amount of time that an email would take us or to create that speech or that announcement or whatever, if I have AI do that, I now have more time to inject the human element of it, or I then have more time to then connect with other people. If we're using AI to save time, but then we're investing that time in humans, AI is allowing us to be more human.
Great point.
That doesn't make any sense.
What are you looking at right now? Still free, man.
Hey, AI made that. Okay, AI didn't make that. Tell you what, AI did not make that table because they would have crushed it.
Okay, we talking Columbia?
I mean, I think we need to. You guys were away for a week and I didn't see you.
I was going to ask,
So-
what are we talking about?
I think we're just debriefing the last since
sure.
the last pod,
But we can talk about.
and then that one.
We should
reel
talk a
you
little
sent
bit
us.
about. Yeah, that's a great one.
What reel did I send you?
Like you suddenly
sent you
became
so many.
important at work.
Oh, yeah. That's a great
There's
one.
lots of versions of that one.
That's a great one. Have you been keeping up with our
No.
Instagram or what? Because I haven't been getting any notices.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no.
this guy.
I go dark.
What
every
is
once
he
in a while.
doing?
I go dark.
What is
I go
he-
ghost.
I'm like, what is
I
he
just
doing?
get buried
right
in my own job, and I'm like, I
Like-
got time for that. Just be honest.
now? Jeez,
I mean, if you paid me a little more, maybe I could work a bit harder.
where are our subscribers at? Like, we gotta
Oh,
start.
you gotta give them something to purchase.
Oh man,
What kind of value are we providing right now?
Not much.
Just some
Not much.
enjoyment in the car.
That's
three
right.
guys.
Pass a few minutes
Yeah.
by and be like, what are these clowns talking about?
Three guys like talking and just giving each other a hard
Hey,
time.
we'll get there, okay?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
We
it
will.
was-
I have faith.
I have faith
I
too.
have faith. But then
You know
it
what
really makes you question about like, man, what am I doing?
For sure, it does.
Yeah, but I mean, you have those moments and you get back on track. You know, it's for the betterment of. I'm doing it. It's a public good, public service.
Yeah.
You feel like you're a martyr then. That's what you're saying, eh? You're just like,
You're doing, it,
that-
you're doing it for the community, you're doing it for the
that-
betterment of society.
Yeah.
If you don't believe that, then I think you should
I'm just teasing you.
pack it up. So you guys were away for 5 days.
We all went
Five?
to the same place. I'm interested to know about everyone's experiences.
Okay, so who's queuing it up? Can you explain what was happening in Colombia?
Yeah. So we took a group of students down from our school board, and what they were doing is participating what's called the Medellin Challenge. So they've been working with teams of students from all over the world to solve problems in Medellin. You know, if you look into the history of Medellin, we know that there's a lot of poverty there. It's war torn. Like really, there was a lot of conflict there the last 40, 50 years, at least, I would say. And their philosophy of the philosophy of the city really is to rebuild the city through education, which you think about that, that's such a powerful model. And they really invest in their young people.
Can I add on to that? What I found really cool about the city is that they're separated into communas. This better off. This one's got, more access to X, Y, and Z. This one has nothing, right? So it's a really cool place to have something like this because while you're all in the same area, same geographic area, each communa or each district has its own unique challenges. Like it's so cool.
Yeah. And there's a big separation between like rich and poor, I would say, in that city, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
And the other piece to that too is that there's a divide in the education system too. So people who can afford private school for their kids, and we're not necessarily talking about these like big glorious campuses. Some are certainly like that, but they send their kids to private school, and there's different tiers of that. And then for everyone else, they go to a public school. So they have this challenge, which includes both the public and the private schools now, in order to think about, okay, our students can offer us a lot, like this idea of intergenerational leadership. We can learn a lot from them, and they have to be part of the solution.
Yeah.
They have to be. They're going to rebuild the city.
They're the
From
future.
students. It's the future of their city. So they're really looking to that student leadership in order to help forge the future of the city. And I just love the idea that they open their doors to the world as well and invite students from our own schools to go there and be part of this process where they kind of go through like this design thinking model to come up with different solutions for the city, where they visit the different communities, they meet with the business leaders or the community leaders, and then they design solutions for the people living there based on like what they need and what they're looking for. So just not trying to impose a solution, but trying to learn and empathize with the people who actually live there. And then it culminates with a presentation. And who was there? They had business leaders there.
Yeah, the ministers, a couple of ministers of
Minister of
education.
Education for the city of Medellin, Minister of Education for the state.
Province, yeah.
And their next step is they're looking next year to make that a statewide competition. That's obviously a big lift. But I think the most impressive thing there was the leader of the school. I'm not sure like her exact title. She leads through the idea of that she's a community builder. She's laser focused on trying to make that community better. By community, I mean the city of Medellin, right? Yeah. And she's trying to have like her students participate in experiential learning, trying to, they call it like active methodology, where they're actually outside the school, outside the walls of the classroom, and they're doing the work in the community to solve problems in the community. That's a great way to learn and make the learning real. And when you look at that and the lift that took, like it was run by students, number one.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The whole challenge was run by students. So they're either participating in it or they're running it. And all the learning that came with that, it was so impressive.
And that's something that AI can't do. It can be interjected, it can be used throughout the process, but the final product was pretty, like just being in that auditorium, just seeing all these kids. Like one kid made a friggin' hydrogen cell and he would not give up, like, because the first couple rounds that he tried testing it out, it did like a tiny pop, and then he was like, no, I know what my machine can do. And he was just seeing the joy and the support that all the kids had of each other. And really it's all for a common goal, which is to help humans.
And what's really unique, I think, too, about this challenge is that we've visited schools there or communities there that have implemented the student designs, and now it's like an active thing in their own community.
Yeah.
And that, that's the idea, when you can actually see that somebody's willing to invest money to see your idea through, and schools or communities are using your idea to make it better for the people living there. I think you've done nothing but empower students to do the next thing.
And creating innovators.
Yeah.
And just who knows what the future holds for these individuals, right? Like, think about that. They've created an item or an idea to solve a problem in their community, and they're working with global partners and doing that. Like, that's pretty, that's huge.
It's incredible. I mean, I was lucky to go last year, and I know you guys have been quite a bit for PD in their systems there. But the one thing that really stuck out of my mind, and I only went to one iteration of this event, was when they were in the auditorium pitching their ideas to community leaders, they were getting feedback. Students were getting feedback.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that part of the event. And some of the feedback was to the point, not harsh, but like tough feedback.
Yeah.
Like, have you considered this? Like, almost you're coming here to tell me how my community should be great, and you haven't considered this.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? And just the students being able to accept that feedback in real time, like, what a skill. I was blown away by their ability to do that. And I think sometimes my learning for us here is that we shy away from that sometimes, putting someone on the spot and offering real feedback. So we don't want to hurt feelings or say something.
We see it as
wrong,
confrontational.
Confrontational, where they just were very direct, and the students were able to take that and then iterate. I was blown away by how well the students were able to do that and what experience they have now. So they come back. They just went to this global sort of event where they pitched to real community leaders. Now they come back to their own setting. They're not going to have much fear talking to people anymore. What an experience that was. And I think sometimes we don't push our students enough in that regard to see their limits on those skills, because those aren't AI skills. Those are like human skills, like you said, like interpersonal skills, how they accept that feedback and do something with it. I thought that really blew me away.
Yeah.
And I think it's important now that we acknowledge that we've seen this in action in Medellin. We've worked with the region of Waterloo on another project. That's kind of since fizzled out.
Similar concept, though.
Yeah, it was a similar concept, but now in our own schools next year, we have a service learning course through religion with a focus on service learning. And we're going to go through this design thinking process and work with community partners in our own neighborhoods, bring the students outside those walls of the school and make the curriculum come alive and actually solve problems in their own community. And I think that's the power here. So we've gone through and, we've had a takeaway we've learned from, this group of Colombian students and educators, and we're bringing that back to our schools to make this learning real for our students. And I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, it's honestly, very empowering experience.
Yeah.
And even just, so, we talked about the comunas and the disparity and equity in some of the one versus another, and also, their history in terms of poverty in a sense, but it really doesn't matter where you are to have some civic engagement. I think sometimes we think just because we live in a place that's relatively decent, we don't need to ask our kids how they could do something better, or what do they really need to do? We got government for that. But what an empowering experience, even if things are going quote unquote well, to involve students in the process of making things better. I think I'm going to go out and say I don't think we do that well enough.
Yeah.
After seeing that, I'm like, wow, I'm blown away.
Yeah.
I'm like, look what they did, how they wrapped around to have student voice in an incredibly tangible way.
Mhm.
That was super meaningful.
Even
Do we do
running-
that? I don't know if we do well enough.
Even running the whole event, like it was run by
absolutely.
students. Like they were
Yeah.
the ones in charge of like the itineraries. Like even when they got us on the bus, like they had a whole like program because it was like an hour and a half bus ride from the airport to the hotels, and you can tell that they were planned and prepared, and they had certain games and just that. Like you're not even tackling the issues in the community, but just having that foresight of, okay, like there's going to be a long bus ride. How are we going to keep these individuals
That's
entertained? How are we going to build relationships? Because we're
That's
going to be working with them. Like it's as opposed to, okay, we'll send 2 or 3 kids. Like that bus that was half filled with Colombians,
Mhm.
and everyone played a role. Everyone played a role there.
The other part that makes me think of when you're saying that is, as a system, when we're allowing students to engage in those opportunities, let's just say on the planning side of it for those students in Medellin, they're probably given a lot of time to be creative and plan with these. And did it take away from like their math class, for example? Like we were very fixed here on our timelines and achievement. And I'm curious how much time they spent on, because what a meaningful experience it was,
Mhm.
but they clearly had to do some work there,
Mhm.
probably during the school day.
Mhm.
They were permitted to do that work outside of their class time or during when another class should be occurring. What is our thinking on being flexible to help bring these kinds of experiential learning to students? And sometimes I think we're a little rigid on that.
Yeah, we got to get out of that mindset of check off every specific curriculum expectation.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why that in our province in Ontario, we have the overall curriculum expectations. And those are the big ideas of the course. And how can I incorporate that in the work that kids are doing?
So do you guys think it's something that could happen here?
Oh, absolutely. I really like the way we're starting. And, when I said earlier, like we have this course, really, we have excellent teachers who are designing the course.
Correct.
Right. And I know they're going to inspire students. And I think that, it's going to be the first iteration of what we can do and how our schools partner together. And it's going to go other places, right? Like I know those 2 people who are going to lead those courses are going to dream big, and they're going to have like steps to get there. And I don't see a reason why our neighborhood or our city can't benefit from what they're going to do. And I know more people are going to get on board too with the momentum that they see. And I think that's a big part of it. Like think about any movement, it's going to start small and it's going to happen organically. And those 2 people are going to, think about any sort of system change or implementation of an idea. You have people who are going to be strong leaders to get it started. They're going to bring other people in.
And I think, part of these exchange programs, and you guys have traveled extensively to support different systems and learn all over the world. Part of it is having people that support those practices too.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I see my only role really, because I'm not generating any of this, but do we see that as valuable and are we willing to provide the supports to make it work? And do we just see the merit in it? I know I do. I know you both do. But that's like a kind of got to be more of a system philosophy. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, we know we all agree with that, right? But I think sometimes when it gets too big, too fast, I think that it can run into some roadblocks that, could shut it down early, right? Where you think like this, you scaled it up too quick, right? So think of it as a startup. Like you're starting small and you have a small number of people that you're trying to appeal to. In this case, we're looking at 2 high schools in one city. And I think if you can show a proof of concept and you get more people on board, more people interested, that's when the idea grows. And I don't see why that couldn't happen in a couple of years, spread, throughout our school board. And then you think about the power of partnering now with local elementary schools, and you get more community partners involved, and now you have city council involved. And, I think we have a real opportunity here to change the way education looks. Yeah. To be honest,
I think we're our own worst enemies, where we're afraid of it because it's a lot of work.
Yep.
And ultimately, a lot of the work ends up on our plates, but we need to really build those leaders to make it their own, right? So that they're coming to us for advice and to plan out something, but really just that, hey, here's a problem. Here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Right, as opposed to coming to us with problems, looking for solutions, already building those leaders to take it and run with it, right?
Yeah.
Because if you see something like the Vision Challenge, it's impossible to to run that and be the one that is saying yes or no to things. And
Yeah.
I find that in our role, there's kind of a culture where we have to have the final say or have to approve things ahead of time. Like, it's almost like teachers are afraid to have that autonomy and just try it out. I can only speak from my own personal experiences that I find that that's where sometimes as a leader, we are hesitant because we're like, oh man, like this is going to be a lot of work. And we kind of get jaded in that it's going to fall on us, right?
Mhm.
And we really have to be intentional. Like, okay, this is a big thing. How are we going to build up these leaders and take it in, making it their own?
100%. And what you were saying too, Matt, about the proof of concept. Sometimes we as leaders do that too. We ask, I've heard it asked, I've said that before. Is anyone else doing that? Is that happening in other school? And that's a crutch actually, where I think what you guys do very well and what I'm trying to embody is like, believe in the people, hear the idea first. And maybe it doesn't need to have happened anywhere else. Maybe you can be the first, but let's hear it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the culture that we operate in. We're kind of like, has anyone else tried that? Because then I can find out if it worked or if it's a no-go.
Or consistency. We want to be consistent. We want to be consistent.
That's right. And we are our own worst enemy in that regard. Like sometimes you just need to hear the idea and you're not always going to get proof of concept, right? Someone had to go first.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not you?
Why not us?
One of the best principles I've ever had. A lot of people would charge them with kind of being a scatterbrain and just kind of allowing, yeah, sure, yeah, you want to try that, yeah, go ahead, right? But how we transformed the community really was by having that trust and teachers and trying something new. And his one thing that he would tell me is, what's the worst that's going to happen, right? If the worst that's going to happen is that kids are going to be injured, if kids are going to learn and be exposed to something cool, then let's do it, right?
Absolutely. That's been my philosophy as well. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And then when you start to think about really what the worst thing that happen, then you start going, let me call somebody first.
Yeah.
Has this ever happened at your school?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to vet, but it also is important to listen. And definitely as a relationship piece, it's important to trust the people. Like, I know that you're talking about the teachers that are involved with this idea, concept. Like you have a lot of faith in them based on what you know about them and their commitment to an idea too.
Yeah.
And it comes across like they're not just trying to make things good for them. They're trying to make something.
No, they're willing
to make something.
They're willing to put the extra work in for the kids.
That's
really
right.
like
incredible.
It's more work on their part.
Absolutely,
Right.
it is.
So with that, I got a question actually. We've all gone to Columbia. We've all seen that particular school do the Medellin Challenge. What surprised you most or what stood out in your experience there?
I'm going to use an idea that you talked to me about or you shared in Medellin. And I think that's their desire to improve the city, right? I really think that stuck out to me. Like the idea that you're sharing about the teachers and the students were kind of on the same page, but they all had this desire for improvement.
Mm.
And that really shone through in their work and the way they interacted with people from outside the city, inside the city. Ultimately, and how their projects turned out, right? They really believe that they can make a difference.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool when you witness it. What stuck out for me in terms of how their approach to education. So we were, you went to all the schools, obviously, as well, maybe more. But the one that I was in, they shared kind of their philosophy with me because I guess in the principal, they wanted to share their philosophy of education. So they were talking about how they help identify students' passion and interests at an early age and get them going on a certain pathway early on. And it's a regular check-in point throughout their time in that school, which is very interesting because we do it sort of in a, we're just we're very much a processing factory in a sense that you meet with your guidance counselor, what's going on at a later age, like sometimes 15, 16, where you're kind of deciding pathway. Whereas there, they explain it to me like they're looking at sort of general lanes of interest and channeling their academics to support that interest from early ages, like doing inventories about what their interests are to align with where they could potentially end up being employed later on in life or how they want to live their life, whether they want to devote it to the arts or whatever it is. But they do it early and they do it often and they revisit it and they recalibrate, but it's intentional from an early age. I feel I don't think we do that as a system.
We do it like we use my blueprint. And it's like it's in chunks. Like it's like a grade 3, you'll do a couple surveys, a couple questionnaires, and then it's gone. And then grade 5 or 6, it'll come back again. And then it's
And in this case, they were sharing like someone had a passion for. Well, in this school, I think it was I forget what grade it is. It's maybe a grade 11 or 12. They're not on site one day of the week where they get to go do something that's going to contribute to their field.
Cool.
And they were able to go, if it was like an arts, they were working on something that had to do with that. If it was an industry, another industry, they were able to align some type of work or volunteer work they could do in that industry, so that they got some experience on their kind of chosen pathway, and just a bit more flexible in their career. If they're an athlete, they would dedicate time to being an athlete for whatever national team, whatever it was. And that was built into their like academic program. I don't see the full continuum of that here. And maybe it's just I know that's a private school, a little maybe different resources or philosophy. But yeah, I found that pretty interesting.
Yeah. It's good.
Columbia is awesome.
I love it there.
Are you going back?
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah,
How about 3 of us go back?
that'd be nice. That'd be the next time they should
Yeah.
do that for us. That'd
They
be
have
nice.
some cool things going on there.
Yeah, they
Right? Like we even had a couple talks that we did at Nova,
Yeah.
MOVA, and even that facility itself, it's like a think tank for teachers, like where
pretty
teachers
cool.
go and sign up to attend PD sessions, and it's
Show the
free,
Education
and-
Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like how cool is that?
Very neat.
Or it's not for new teachers.
Mhm.
It's for teachers
Yeah, it seems like
in the profession already.
like a
It's not a teacher
spot
training
for
center for
teachers to go
yeah,
and
students.
work
Yeah,
together.
no,
It's
it's not-
kind
that's
of
teachers'
it
college.
reminded me of like a university campus when you go study with a friend
That's right.
Yeah.
and you go and grab
Yeah.
coffee and talk about
Yeah,
coursework.
like
Yeah.
man, I had
It was
a
amazing.
couple talks there, and it's like individuals who
That's right.
weren't even part of the challenge or anything like that. They
So
saw our talk online, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna sign up for that," and,
Yeah.
and we're
It's
gonna
amazing.
attend. And they just drop in, and they're like, "What are these guys all about?" Like 2
You
Canadian
drop
guys.
school leader vibes.
I did
Yeah.
once.
Let's see if we get some Colombian listeners.
How's it,
Added to
we
the
gotta
added to the
see-
virtual map.
We got to see if on the
Oh
virtual maps
yeah,
it
we
is in
do
Colombia.
gotta check that out. Did you drop it?
I dropped it.
Okay.
So how quickly can you check that out? Is it
I think it's real time.
okay?
Anybody listen? No, still the United States picking up pretty good.
U.S. is picking up.
Yeah.
Okay. No Colombians.
Not yet. Didn't do a good enough job. Gotta send them that link again, buddy.
We didn't give him a link
Oh,
because I don't want to
so
be.
maybe
like
gotta
that
be a
guy.
bit more.
I don't want to be like that guy.
Yeah, but she wanted to
Just
be.
drop the name and then call it a day. To
Do
be
you
honest,
want to make unwrapping dollar store items kind of money, or do you want to? What are you trying to do here? Do you want to play it safe? Come on.
That's gonna be our standard. Is gonna chill a lot of it. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, you got this, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
All right, we're
got
calling it a day.
a vibe check or
No vibe check today.
no vibe check?
Okay,
Jay got
next
one.
time.
Oh, wait, I got one.
You got- Okay, good,
I
good.
got one. Okay. You can name one thing that you would do to improve education. It can only be one. I would change laws so that I could focus on attendance. Ensure that we have something to take a bite and make sure that kids are attending.
Yeah, mine was going to be attendance related as well. However, I can't think about what that's going to be yet. I just have an idea,
For attendance?
or just a topic. I don't have an idea yet.
Okay, I was gonna say what Tom wants to do. I mean,
So wait a
that's
minute.
not-
So
that's
all
not-
three of
I
us
was
are
trying to
talking-
make it a little bit
Is that
different.
right?
all
That's a
three of us-
problem.
So all three of us are talking about attendance. Like,
That's
that's
a
a
problem.
problem. So what are we gonna do about that?
Well,
Like,
you know what? I think
we gotta
that's
do
the next episode. Why
Yeah.
don't we tune in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's
have
That's our
everyone tune
homework.
into the next one.
That's
Let's
right.
all think about
That's
how do
our
we tackle
homework.
attendance, and right, because if all three of us are
that's a good
yeah,
topic.
talking about that right now, there you go.
Okay,
Stay tuned.
deal. We're
All
stuck.
right.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay,
Nice job.
All right.
What-
Good job, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of School Leader Vibes. We're incredibly grateful for your time and your contribution to shaping the future, one student at a time. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to connect with us on Instagram at School Leader Vibes for more inspiration. Lastly, please share the podcast with fellow leaders and educators who might benefit from these conversations. Until next time, keep vibing.